Thank you for joining us. Today we're going to be speaking a bit about critical period hypotheses. So, critical period hypothesis is the subject of a long-standing debate in linguistics and language acquisition over the extent to which the ability to acquire language is biologically linked to age. So, a hypothesis is simply a proposed explanation made by a scientist which can then be tested or proven. The theory says that adults don't acquire language as well as children, maybe because of external or internal factors, not because they lack the ability to. Eric Lindbergh was the linguist credited for the critical period hypothesis. The critical period hypothesis is an age limit that once it has been reached, the ability to learn language is lessened. It is very hard for an adult to master the accent of a language because the person is in the critical period hypothesis. Lindbergh claims that the optimal period for a language acquisition ends at puberty. In second learning acquisition, the strongest empirical evidence for critical period hypotheses is in the study of accents, where most all learners do not reach a native level like. However, under certain conditions, native-like accent has been observed, suggesting that accent is affected by multiple factors, such as identity and motivation, rather than a critical biological constraint. So it's easier for a child to learn an accent once he or she grows up in it. For example, if a child grows up in a Hispanic household, then he or she may be able to speak Spanish flawlessly rather than a non-Spanish speaking person trying to converse and not having the accent or the pronunciation of words correct. And it's usually the adults who this affects because to get a job you need to be bilingual, and adults are the ones usually going to different countries to study or to work, and the critical period hypothesis gives you a time limit in which different accents and language can be acquired. But after you reach that age limit, the the critical period for language acquisition will not be strong enough and harder to understand. How do children acquire language? Well, language is acquired mainly through nature and nurture. Almost all children learn the rules of their language at an early age through use over time without formal instruction. Children usually speak the language they grew up hearing, but before children speak, they use gestures such as pointing or crying which convey meaning. So if a child points to a water, that means that he or she is thirsty and wants the water. Bubbling are words. Well, not words, but their sound. Although you don't understand, it's a child's way of learning, of saying sounds. In a period of time, those sounds will become words. Wells said that the point of learning language and interacting socially then is not to master rules, but to make connection with other people and to make sense of experience. Children don't only learn by imitating because they sometimes say things that adults wouldn't say. For example, a child would say, "Mommy, look at my toes," instead of "Mommy, look at my toes." So they eventually learn the conventional forms as they age and learn more about the rules. By the end of the first year, a child begins to speak. Within 18 months, they have a vocab of about 50 words. Then 2 years, 200 words. 5 years, 2,000. 7 years, 4,000. At each stage, the child uses the words, the more they understand and actually know what it means. So there's 3 stages of language acquisition. The first one, labeling, is linking words to the objects to which they refer, understanding that objects can be labeled. Second one is packaging, which is exploring what labels can apply to, Over-under extension occurs in order to understand the range of a word's meaning. Network building is making connections between words and understanding similarities and opposites in meaning. Early word combination usually contains simple recurrence, negation, position, and after-action utterances. So for example, for recurrence, a child would say more juice. For negation, he'd say no juice. For position, he said my ball, and after action would be baby eat. So at this point, the child is already getting some sort of understanding and meaning to words. Chomsky's linguistic theory states that we are born with an innate ability to learn language, and with little guidance, children will naturally learn language. He argues that we must be born with a language acquisition device, an area in our brains that makes learning language a natural event. So in conclusion, language acquisition suggests that children are better at learning language than adults. Thank you for joining us. We truly hope that you understand something from this. Thank you.